This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks got blasted tonight by the Brooklyn Nets. And I don't know about this summer league team, man. They, I know it's summer league. The Knicks not supposed to have a great summer league team this year, I guess. But I don't. Are we even looking for talent? Sometimes it makes me feel because this team is a little bit. I guess maybe there's a couple of bright spots. I got my man Hardwill in the building. We're gonna talk about it. Charlie Brown, as you see on the screen. I don't know if Hardwill sees it, but on the screen, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He's looking pretty good. Charlie Brown Jr. is looking pretty good, kind of impressive. But Hardwill, man, what do you think about the summer league team, man?
Like I was saying to you, shout out to everybody. Like I was saying to you, man, while we don't have no bouncy, I'm watching the games and I see guards just coming down, jumping out the gym, pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, this means something when your team don't have talent in the summer league. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like also that you got some guys that been in the league for 2 years is playing in that summer league and they actually going to be getting minutes on their team. So it's like, I think they think maybe some of these guys, they don't have to be in the summer league, but none of these guys I think is going to be on our team besides Roby. Maybe one other player because of the fact of how many players we have. So it looks kind of confusing to me. I think to me, it looks like it kind of makes me feel like when we say, what are we doing? This puts more emphasis on that for me. I don't know about you. What you think?
Nah, no doubt about it, man. Well, on the back end at least, you know what I mean? On the developing talent. What are we doing there? I feel like we have an idea of the type of guards, the type of people we want to bring in. You know what I'm saying? Having, Yoshimoto continuously coach Summer League, I think that's a good idea, right? But when I'm looking at the players we brought in this year and we brought to the Summer League team, I'm like, come on, man. We can't shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're shooting the ball terribly. I'm not thrilled with Trevor Kills. I do like Jalen Martin, right? I like Jalen Martin. I think that's a talented kid. He's young. He's a rookie. So I do like him. Listen, I think we have a developmental program. I do, because when I look at some of our young guys that came up from Westchester, Deuce, Jericho Sims, obviously quickly, is coming into his own. Not too sure about Obi, but Quentin Grimes, was good enough to start on this basketball team. So I think we're bringing some guys along. But man, when I'm looking at the summer league squad, I'm like, where's the talent? Obviously, we didn't have no first round draft pick this year. So I'm just wondering, like, were there some other guys? We didn't get a chance to see Obi's brother, but were there some other guys that just had talent that you could say, you know what, we're going to bank on this guy's talent and see if we can develop the talent, you know what I mean, and the athleticism or things like that. We'll see. What do you think about this guy here, though, Charlie Brown Jr.?
He's lanky, he looks like he tries to defend. His shot don't look too bad. The upside to him is that he's lanky and he's mobile. It looked like he played defense. Like you said, I like the kid Martin because he's young, played in overtime elite, so he got a little bit of experience against talent. And some of the older guys that they play against a lot of talent when you got overtime elite.
Yeah.
So my nephew used to go there and train against them guys a lot and work out, play games and stuff like that. But in reference to what you said, made me think about this. I want to just say it before I forget. We got Trevor Kills playing the point, right? To me, that's kind of crazy. He look out of shape. He don't look like he should be there, right? I'm not saying on the team, but at the point. Should be somebody at the point we could say, I could see potential of this kid backing up Brunson or getting some minutes. We don't really know it's a lot of question marks for us. So I feel like with our summer league team, you could just see young potential. As far as developing, these guys had to develop through, it's kind of hard how they developed, if you ask me, even though they did develop. I don't think it was an easy process for the way these guys developed, but they did develop. So I don't want to take credit away from, Tibbs and, the coaching staff and trainers and stuff like that. But it wasn't all that of an easy process to me. So I feel like, with the new guys that they bringing in, they don't want to go through that process. So they're not really going hard, the way I think they should be. Because then you get caught up, Sim, and you get a kid, and then you it's more like they don't know who they're going to play sometime in those situations. And I feel like we just got a bunch of kids that we don't know what we're going to do with them all the time. At least, the Brown kid, he looks like he's promising. Garrett, I think the other kid name was Garrett. I think that was pretty lanky defender. We need guys that could come off the bench that could play defense. But Brown is a lefty. I like that about him too. He was a lefty. Right. So, that makes him a little more. I mean, we do got a lot of lefties on the Knicks, but he is a lefty.
Right.
He's not too bad, though. Not too bad. I don't think that kid is as worse as some of the players I see on that team, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about him is he's 26 years old, been in the G League for 3 years. You know what I mean? So the question is always to me, where are you going at this point? If you've been in the G League for 3 years, I think he, jumped around from to a couple of different teams, teams in the league, played in a couple. He played for the 76ers last. But, where would he have room on this current roster unless there's a move? Probably no place. You know what I mean?
No place.
You know what I mean?
I can't see it.
I can't see it at all unless there's some kind of a change or trade or something like that. When you talk about a guy like Jalen Martin, who's 19 years old, you got time for these guys to grow. And by the time they grow and get better, then you have, you probably made a move here. You lost a player to free agency or whatever. Now you got a guy coming up the ranks. My thing is, I would like to see, I guess I'd like to see more younger guys than 26-year-olds in there, and just use it as a full-on training ground if that's what you're going to do, instead of picking up guys. Charlie Brown's been impressive, I think, but I don't see where we're going to use him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you're just bringing them in. Waste. You're just bringing them in. It's a waste. I'd rather just go get a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds and let them rock out in Summer League and really use Summer League in Westchester. Who cares about winning? Just use it as a place to groom young, super young talent. You know what I mean? By the time they get 22, 23 years old, you're kind of like, we're going to have something for you or not. You know what I mean? Because I haven't seen the Knicks pull up a guy that is 26 years old, 27 years old from the G League and use him. When's the last time the Knicks did that?
They won't.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
They haven't done that. So, what's the point in bringing these guys in? You might as well just rock with all super young guys. And you have the ability. I don't know if there's any rules against doing that because, they got the G League, the G League Elite or whatever, full of young guys like that. So I don't know if there's anything against that. But if there's nothing against that, that's what I would do. And that's why I'd have in Summer League. all 18 and 19-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think it's connected to the Knicks not having any picks in the draft as well. Like, I felt the way about that too. To where as if they just picking the undrafted players and they feel like they can find diamonds in the rough. Don't get me wrong. If it works, cool. But if nobody's jumping off the roster or nobody's not looking like the other teams that we seeing in Summer League, these other teams got players, at least 2 or 3 players on the team that's jumping out the gym, looking good, hitting shots. And this tells us that the NBA is headed in a great direction with talent. So why are we stuck with older guys or like, what's the other guy name that's still on the team that's been on the team? He's an older Jeffries. He's an older guy as well. You know, it's a bunch of guys. I mean, overtime elite guys, to address that, shout out drugs, overtime elite guys, you know, I give those guys credit because they took a chance going in. We used to speak about it before Sim. We spoke about it. My nephew had opportunities to play there. You would have to leave high school and, you know, early, get you whatever, GED or whatever. They pay you. But at the time, the NBA never took no players from there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So really, it was a gamble not knowing if the NBA was going to draft from the overtime elite pool because they was taking money. And the college rule, the college didn't like what they was doing. So they took away their eligibility for college and they couldn't be McDonald's All-American if they played in overtime elite. But I was just listening to a story with the Thompson twins, and he even said it, how they knew they took a chance, and they was like a family, and how, you know, he went there because the scouts and what they offered him to get better in high school couldn't give him the same thing. So he give credit to those guys, Sim, for putting him in this position. Because, you know, that's what they have overseas, to be real with it, to be real about it. They put them in academies. And they don't really be in school like that. They teaching them, but they playing mostly basketball. So they're being prepared to be pros. Right. That's something what overtime elite is.
Yeah. I was I'm planning on getting one of the dudes from Overtime Elite to come on and talk about, you know, just talk about the program. But, you know, it's a good program. I talked about it a little bit on the last show. They do financial literacy with the kids. You know, some like social skills type training with them. You know, just teaching them how to be young men, teaching them how to be professionals, how to be a pro. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's something is just missing, you know, when you're talking about these kids. I don't think they're doing that in the G League, not that I know of. Not like, I think they have something when you come into the league, they do a little. Yeah, you know, the G League Elite. Are they doing the same thing? Are they giving them that type of tutelage, though?
You know, where Scoot came from, where Jalen Green went from, they give them that too. They give them the financial, you know, courses. They let them live on their own early to prepare them for when they actually get into the league. I watched the special on that as well. So
that's good. Do that as well. That's good. And now also what Overtime Elite is doing now is they're giving some of the guys scholarships instead of paying them. This allows them to stay eligible to go to college.
Because if you don't take money, you can still go to college.
You can still go to college.
So you're still getting the experience from the competition.
Exactly. You're still getting that experience. So that's good. You know what I mean? You know, keeps you eligible to go to college if you want to. You know, but Jalen Martin, man, 15 points today, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Shooting percentage is not great, 35.7% from the field. 27.3% from 3, 50% from the free throw line. But I think this kid really does have some talent. You know what I mean? I watch his game. He looks like a young kid playing amongst men sometimes. You know what I mean? I look at his passes. I'm like, man, you know, sometimes his kick-out passes look a little soft to me. You know, but he is a young kid, and he's got to grow, you know, and learn how to play at this level. But I like his patience. He don't force shots. I'm looking at some of the other guys out there. They're forcing up shots. Then I'm like, man, you could have kicked it out. You had Roby in the corner or, you know, whoever. You know, he's kind of patient. He understands. I think he understands where to get the ball. You know, you could tell that he came from good coaching. I'm going to say that. You know what I mean? And but he does have some talent. Now, he's got to get stronger and things, but this is one of those guys that, you have him, you can help him grow. You know what I mean? You can continue to rock with him, develop him, let him develop in a pro system, and see what he does from there. But the last 2 games that I've seen him, well, the only 2 games I've really seen him, I think he's good defensively. Like I said, I like his patience on the offensive side. He's got to get that shooting together. You know what I mean? Because he shoots a low percentage, but he's a rookie, just coming into the league. Taking an alternative path into the league. So, that's I think he's got a lot of promise.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think for them to pick him too says a lot. Like I said, they like to find diamonds in the rough. He's definitely one of them. I personally know a little bit about him. He's very patient. Like you said, he's young. So if he's showing potential at this age, that means he was doing that for a little while, which is good.
Right.
Now younger guys are used to playing against men, and you see the Thompson twins, and you see the level of competition that's in Overtime Elite. So he had a chance to play against a lot of the good players in Atlanta. And he's from Florida, though.
He's from Florida.
He's from Florida.
He's from Florida, yeah.
But he's tough, you know what I mean? The key part and the good part of the upside to him is that he's very young. He listens. He's coachable.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see he's coachable. He's fast. He plays defense. He jumps out the gym. And these are upsides to him. He's not too small. So I think he's a decent pickup for us, being that how we got him. Like I said, we didn't have any draft picks. And it's kind of funny to me that a player like that looked almost like the best player we got in Summer League off of just his intangibles and little, like Sim said, patience and, things like that.
Yeah, little things like that. He was coached by Charlie Ward. A couple of people mentioned it in the chat. He was coached by Charlie Ward when he was in high school.
Wow.
He reminds I'm not even sure. I don't know. I like his game. I don't want to say, he reminds me of this person or that person. I guess I like his game. He also picks up fouls. There's something about his elusiveness, what I mean, allows him to pick up fouls. You know what I mean?
I like that move at the rim, too. That's a scorer's move. When you go up and then you just come down and drop it in.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I actually think, if you're talking about Grimes, I actually think he has more ability to put the ball on the floor. Can he do it in the league? I don't know. You know what I mean? I think he has a little bit more ability to create for himself than maybe Grimes does. I don't know if he can do it on an NBA level yet, though.
Okay. Got you. He will be able to, though, if you see him even able to do it. It will translate. Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think he
will.
I
was saying, did you think Grimes, or who was the player that you was saying he reminds you of?
I'm not sure yet. Yet. I thought I had a couple of people in my mind, but then when I stopped and thought about it, I said, nah, maybe not. First I was, I don't know. I'm still
you ain't
thinking
seen
about
enough hours yet.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. But
he got some footage out there though too.
Yeah,
he got some footage on YouTube. Not that much though, honestly, but he got some.
So, but I think, how do you compare him to Trevor Keels?
Oh no, I never. No disrespect to Trevor Keels. I never liked Trevor Keels. For some reason, I felt like, I don't know, his game, like it just, was funny to me. Trevor Keels, sometimes you be in that position that you in, and it kind of takes away from who you are and what you try to do and what you should be trying to do. And that young kid is coming in. He gonna play hard. He gotta get his money. He gotta, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a different approach. And Trevor Keels look like he's out of shape. He don't look like he's in the best shape, So I feel like sometimes when you're in that position, but man, Summer League is here. It's time for you to be out here having us saying, not this about Trevor Keels, that I like Trevor Kills.
Right.
Because we going into the future of the NBA and we're gonna need some young talent, even though we may have draft picks down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like right now we could have used some of this talent for us to be talking about Martin. This kid is very, very young. He was in overtime elite 1 year.
1
He
year.
left high school. Yeah.
1
Just
year.
left fresh out of high school at 17,
Yeah.
then overtime elite 18, and then now he's 19.
Right.
Think about that. He's a very young kid.
Yeah. Now Trevor Kills is young too. He's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, he came. You know, the Knicks drafted him at 18. You know, and so you know, and I think he might have just turned 19 not too long ago. I'm not sure. I got to check. I don't know. You know, for the second game in a row, he had the worst plus minus on the team. You know what I mean? And I'm not like crazy big on the plus minus thing, but I still think it says something. You know, you get the worst plus minus on the team, where Jalen Martin, for the second game in a row, had one of the best plus minus numbers on the team. You know, I mean, I think, you know, that does tell a story. Trevor Kills right now is definitely playing out of position on the Summer League team, playing point. Not a natural point guard. You know, he's a power guard or whatever you want to call him. I don't know. What do you think the Knicks see in Trevor Kills?
Honestly, I think this summer league was so bad, they just went with what they had. I just really felt that way. Because like we just said, I hate to say it again, this kid Martin is the best what we have on this roster besides Roby. And we knew about Roby already from OKC.
Right.
So we kind of knew what we had there. We expected something else. And, you know, that's just crazy to me. You know, I mentioned a couple other kids. The other guy, he just, you know, he keep looking for a shot. I think it's Brown. No, not Brown. I'm sorry, not Brown. Harris, the guard.
Jalen Harris.
He's looking for a shot too much. Where you can't even play the basketball to where when you do get your shot, you'll make it.
Right.
Because you thinking shot so much, you ain't going to play good basketball, Harris. So if you listening, my brother, play the game and then your shots will fall. But you so busy looking for your shot too much when you can get other guys involved and they need somebody to run the show. See, we talking about Trevor Kills ain't looking too good. So if you coming off the bench, that's bad for you to even be coming off the bench behind Kills, but I understand why. But when you come off the bench, get people involved, and then when you get that kick to you, you're going to hit your shot. You got to relax, brother.
Yeah.
He ain't looking too good, Harris.
Nah, he ain't. You know what I mean? Every time I turn around, this dude is looking for a shot, passing up open shooters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting frustrated watching, and I know it's summer league. I'm getting frustrated because I'm a coach. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Give it up. Give up the rock. You know what I'm saying? You know, getting frustrated looking at a summer league game. But yeah, I don't like that. I don't like his game at all. I don't like his game. But you know, back with like with Trevor Kills, I'm just wondering because the Knicks drafted him last year in the second round. You know, he's got a two-way contract. It's him, the dude that went off yesterday, and then Jalen Martin, who's got the two-way contracts. DeQuan Jeffries, the other guy, the two-way contracts.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out what is it that they're envisioning with Trevor Kills. You know, I know I'm thinking last year they were like, okay, you know, he's young, he's 18 years old. Maybe there's something. Maybe they like this toughness, his big body, you know what I mean, his ability to move people, you know, from that guard position. I'm trying to figure out what do they like about the kid, because I haven't seen anything from the time that I've seen him. I haven't seen anything that says he's got potential to be an NBA player.
Yeah, like I see what they saw, maybe.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I just haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I haven't seen a glimpse.
I think he declined, and I think at one point he showed a little bit of point guard IQ, and he played the game a little better. But like we just talked about, sometimes guys get in their head and they don't just play the game according to the reads of the flow of the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? It look like he be lost out there. It'd be some plays I see he can make and he don't make. It'd be the simple play sometimes that they don't make, that they don't know, that could help them. But I'm like, why these guys ain't telling them that if they on the sideline too and they see that? But it's like they expect that for some of them guys. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or they look at it like it's just summer league. But other teams ain't looking at it like that. The way them other teams is attacking and playing, it's like, okay, so either their team is way better than that, or they getting some guys out of these pool of guys as well.
Right.
At least for their G League team. So they getting better.
Yeah.
I don't see where we benefiting from this at all.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll paying attention to see what goes on with Trevor Kills, man. But the kid Jalen, Jalen Martin, I think he might have a future with the team one day. If somebody gets traded, give him another year or two. But if somebody gets traded, we might see him playing with the New York Knicks, not just the Westchester Knicks. I'm excited to watch him in the G League this year and see how he's gonna go. Still 2 more games left in summer league, but see how he's gonna go. See what he's gonna do in the G League. Isaiah Roby,
he's worth it.
Yeah, I think he's worth it for real. Isaiah Roby, 12 points today, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Shot 55% from the field, 50% from the 3-point line. Didn't shoot any free throws. Better performance than he had yesterday. Right? I came into Summer League saying, when I did my Summer League preview, I said, I don't want to see this guy average 8 points and 5 rebounds or 7 points and 5 rebounds. You know what I mean? This guy's played in the league. I'm not expecting him to be a 20-point scorer for the Knicks, right? But I want him to be a 15 to 20-point scorer in Summer League, which tells me he can come in and give you 10 points in the league, 8 to 10 points a game in the league in his 12 minutes a game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I saw a lot more today than I did yesterday. His 3-pointer looked pretty good. He was, did a decent job on the boards, for the amount of time that you're playing. I mean, it's a 40-minute game, and he got 23 minutes, grabbed 6 boards. He looked a little bit smoother today. What's your thoughts on Isaiah Roby, man?
Yeah, I think he looked a lot better today. One thing I could say, at least he could hit the shot, because he's like a slasher and lanky. So if he can hit the shot, the defense got to play him honest, so he have more chance to go by. I agree with your point on if he could do 15 in the summer league, 16, 17, he should be able to give us 8 to 10 in the league. I agree with that. And coming off the bench, like you said, can he replace Obi? I think he should be able to come in and do things as far as what Obi wouldn't do. Like Obi would be focused on just certain things, and I think Roby will be focused on more things, like just helping the team in whichever way possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? Reference to just standing in the corner or worried about an alley-oop or, doing things like that. And I think he's a young guy, a glue guy, who's going to pick up on things fast. And with Tibbs, I think they'll get him in good defensive position to be a good defender too, because he does give a little effort. At least that's all you need to see, because he's still young as well. How old is Roby?
25.
Yeah, he's still pretty young too. Even though I thought he would be a little bit younger than that, because he don't got that many NBA years. How many years he been in the league? 3, maybe?
3 or 4. He played a few years with OKC. Then he played with San Antonio.
Oh, he came from over there too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good too.
The thing about Roby is, one, he doesn't have, Obi came in first round draft pick, with a name, you know what I'm saying?
Hype
behind him. So now there's that pressure that, we got to get this guy on the floor. What are we doing? He's not playing, Roby can come in and I'm not saying Obi didn't appreciate it, But Roby can come in and just straight up appreciate his 12 minutes per game because that's what he would get. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to bat an eye like, okay, he's getting 12 minutes a game. Now, if he really starts producing, then, people might say something, have some thoughts about it. But that might be what this front office is looking for right now. Somebody who can just come in, be happy with 12 to 15 minutes a game. Some nights you might get more. Do your role, give Randle a breather, and then sit on the bench. You know what I mean? And obviously there was frustration with Obi.
And Tibbs. Mm-hmm.
And Tibbs.
We heard about the argument, yeah.
Right. But that's not the only argument. There was an argument with Rick Brunson back in November.
Mm-hmm.
Obi had with Rick Brunson after the Knicks played the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Obi feeling like he should play more and probably should have played more, had some frustration. Isaiah Roby isn't going to have that kind of frustration, I don't think. You know what I mean? Because, he's barely been in the league. You know what I mean?
And like you said, he wasn't a first-round draft pick. No pressure.
Right. And Beat Baller for real said, is that what we're looking for? A body to be happy with the minutes. I mean, at this point, what are you doing, though?
This makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, that Randle's going to he's going to eat up those minutes. You know what I mean? So what you need is a guy that can come in and produce with the minutes, come in and produce and be happy with the minutes that they have. Are you looking for, I'm sure there's people out there looking to replace Randle. So you want to bring someone in that can replace Randle. But I don't think the front office is thinking that way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That don't mean, because it's about what the front office want to do, right?
Right.
Obviously, they chose Randle, right? And what Sim is saying, you have another person that could play and not give the bad body language and have an attitude about the little bit of minutes that they're getting because they didn't get picked in the same position that Obi got picked in. So they won't feel like they obligated to get these kind of minutes.
Right.
That's all. It just makes realistic sense because we don't need that if we're going to go in the Randle direction. That's just simple. And we deep already, and we're going to add more to the roster. So with that being said, we don't need Obi being there if they're going with Randle. And many times we've heard people say it's either going to be Obi or Randle. They went with Randle, so it makes sense to put somebody there that's not going to cause the same issues that Obi was causing. And this is a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
And that's all Sim was saying.
That's it. You know what I mean? Now, if they decide they're going to go in another direction, then you're like, all right, well, we got to get somebody that can produce. Or a Band-Aid until we get somebody that can produce from that position. But, this could be just a good scenario. Someone who can come in, give you good, steady play from that position during that time that he's in the game and probably, isn't going to complain about the minutes that he's getting because, he barely played last season, And I agree with you. He's going to bring a different kind of game in Obi. It's not going to be a high-flying game. I think, he probably can post a little bit more. Will he be as good of a three-point shooter? We'll see.
Rebound. He's going to rebound.
Yep, he can rebound.
Obi wasn't always a good rebounder. We had to beg for Obi to use his athleticism to get us some rebounds until he finally started doing it. But Roby will do those things because he don't focus on dunking or just standing in the corner. He's going to have to help.
Yeah. So, we'll see if he actually gets that spot or not. You know what I mean?
That's true, too.
Yeah, we'll
gotta
see.
Earn it.
We'll see. What did you think about the whole Obi trade ordeal and all of that?
Well, like I just said, I felt like it had to be Obi or Randle.
Mm-hmm.
And being that they went with Randle, I'm cool with it. You let Obi go. I wish him the best. It was a tough situation, like you just explained. He got drafted in that position, and some people felt he should have been playing. Some people felt like we knew who Randle is, and we don't really know who Obi is yet. But through adversity, Obi had to get better and become a better player, do what he had to deal with, I think. So I feel like, I'm happy for the move and, let Randle just play and not have to deal with that as well, because he had to deal with that just as much as Obi had to deal with it.
Right.
Worrying about Obi being on his heels, and then that's
Mm-hmm.
too much. Dudes need to just know their role and be able to do their job. And I think that's the point you was making as well about now with somebody like Roby, because we don't got to worry about all that.
Right.
They want to play Randle, so let's make this work a certain way. So I'm kind of happy as long as they chose, because we couldn't have both, and that was a major problem for us, and we didn't really realize it, that we don't need a guy that we think should be having more minutes than all that. Get a guy who could fit in there, because they're gonna play Randle. That's it until they move him and get rid of him.
Right.
So I'm happy for Obi, and I wish him the best over there in Indiana. I think, like I told you before, he's going to play better on Indiana because Halliburton is a great passer.
Mm-hmm.
He may look to pass first. He averaged triple doubles and alley oops, and Obi going to be with a young core over there, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have a good season. Definitely the best season he's had in the NBA. No doubt about it.
I think so.
He's gonna have a nice season.
I hate to say it, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna have a nice season. I think I always felt that Obi could give you 18 points, 8 rebounds a game, probably average that. My whole thing was, people always compared him to Randle. I never felt that he was the draw that Randle is. He's not that that magnet that makes the defense crash on you. You know what I'm saying? And then
that dominant. Yeah, it's not that dominant yet.
Right, and then opens it up for other people. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't going to get double teams and triple teams. And I don't think he's going to get that with the Pacers either, because his game is not going to be, okay, we're going to throw Obi the ball and let him create one-on-one. It's going to be catching him on the fast break, kicking it out for threes, those type of things. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to be that kind of a draw where people are like, we got to double Obi, because I don't even think he'll be in position to get doubled. But I think he's going to play well, and
he'll play well,
do the things that he can do. Now, how good will Indiana be? We'll see. We'll find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he'll play well, like I said, because of the young core and Halliburton, But as far as everything else, like you said, we got to see. Obi, he had to deal with what he had to deal with as far as worrying about the minutes and stuff like that. Now you're going to get minutes. But the difference with what you were saying, Randle is a 20 and 10 scorer. He earned to be a threat and to know how to continue to do that no matter what and average those points. Obi has to get to that in order to be that type of player. He hasn't established himself like that yet. And the way he play, it'll be hard. He got to improve his jump shot. You know what I'm saying? He got to change his game a little bit. So I don't even think he'll ever be average 20 points and 10 in the league. And I hate to say that about him because he kind of had a slow start dealing with this situation. But
yeah,
I just wanted to say that point about Obi in reference to that, because I don't think he'll be like Randle in that case of a player.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see Obi being all NBA. I don't see that.
Yeah, yeah, I don't. I can't think of a player that's like Obi besides like a Vince Carter, but Obi's not even like a Vince Carter. He's not cut from that cloth, because Vince came in the league going crazy. He don't care who you would have put in front of him. He's going to get out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Obi ain't cut like that. So I'm just talking about style of play, and that's the kind of style of play. So it's not too many players like I could say that I could see Obi. I can't. But I wish him the best, though. Yeah. I like him still. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's going to do well out there. I hope he, has everything that, gets everything he's asking for. D Nice, Sean Marion. Yeah, that's who I kind of, after seeing him play with the Knicks, I kind of compared him to Sean Marion too, and just, being able to knock down that corner three, be exciting, getting on the transition. The dunk, he doesn't play as good as defense as Sean Marion, but, similar style of game. And I think that's what it'll be.
Had an ugly shot, Sim, but that shot
that used to go in.
And this the thing, like I always tell people, if you could shoot, they gotta guard you different. So it's easy for you to blow by. If Obi get a jump shot, we having a different conversation because they gotta close that space on him. Then he could take a couple dribbles and go upstairs.
Yeah.
But he can't really shoot it. They're giving him that space, and he's still not making a shot.
Right. The coolest, he said, we've seen Obi score 20-plus points plenty of times, but still say he can't do it. He's already done it.
Now, he could do it. We saying he ain't going to average 20. It's a difference in dropping 20 and averaging 20. That's a
big difference.
Cool. Come on,
big difference.
Cool. Come on, bro.
Big difference.
You know Obi could get 20, but he ain't averaging 20. Many people in the league ain't averaged 20 in their 4th, 5th year in the league, though. So we give him some time. We ain't trying to do him dirty. When his brother's on the team, let's see what his brother gonna do.
Right. And here's the thing. All those times that Obi scored 20-plus points, he wasn't the main target on the scouting report. You know what I'm saying? The main targets on the scouting report was Randle, R.J. Barrett, obviously this year, Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where we started from, Sim.
Yeah.
That was your point where we started from.
Right.
He's not going to draw a double team, remember?
Right.
So
exactly.
if whoever's commenting on it, y'all got to catch from the root of where we started from on the Obi. He's not drawing no double teams. That's what we said. Randle does. So with that being said, when Obi gets off, it's because he has Randle on the court or another player on the court drawing all the attention, and then you could get off. He's not an averaging 20 to get the double team for him all game. That's the point.
Right. And now that he's a starting player, maybe getting 30 minutes a game, the scouting report changes. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, all right, Obi's been dropping 25 points a game the last 5 games. We got to shut this down. What are we going to do to stop this? You know what I'm saying? And now you're not, every single night you are the starting power forward for 82 games. You know what I mean? It's different.
Different. That's different. Then you got to have an all-around game. You got to know how to give it up. You got to know how to do all. Come on, he ain't ready for that yet.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So, now we're going to get a chance to see what he can do. There's going to be other guys out there. You got Ben Mathurin on that team, Tyrese Halliburton. You know what I'm saying? So there's some guys out there that's going to hoop. So it's not like the ball is just going to Obi every time, because you got some guys out there that's hooping on that team too. That's looking to score the ball. You know what I mean? So, let's not get crazy and think he's going to be 23, 24 points a game. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't sure he's starting, Sim.
That'd be something.
I ain't sure he's starting, Sim.
Bro, that'd be crazy. If
I'm just saying, that's how it is out here. He gonna get run, but I ain't sure he's starting.
Yeah. Who else they got at power forward over there?
I know they let Duarte go.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly if they hold spar. I don't want to misquote their team, but I know they got some ballers over there.
Yeah.
They've been had ballers and they ain't let them go. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I wish him the best, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he should start, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Because if he's coming off the bench, I mean, listen, Twitter and Knicks fans and all of that is gonna go. If he goes and he has a great season, all the Obi fans gonna see, we told you, blah blah blah, is gonna go crazy, And then if he comes off the bench, people on the other side are gonna come out like, see, we told you, he can't even get off the pine over in Indiana, and we complaining about him here. So, we'll see how that goes.
Same thing with Cam Reddish and the Lakers. They're gonna say the same thing if he do good over there.
Right.
Can't wait to hear the news.
Yeah. But yeah, Isaiah Roby's got a path. He's got a path right now. He's got the upper hand, I think, to win that, I guess you would say, 10th spot, because you're not kicking anybody out the rotation. Right now, the rotation is 9 deep, if you think about it, because DiVincenzo replaced Obi. You know what I mean? So that keeps you with a 9-man rotation. But I still think that Tom Thibodeau will play 10 if he has someone he feels deserves those minutes. What do you think? I mean, if Isaiah Roby does make the roster, will he actually be in a rotation at that power forward spot?
a great question. He may get some minutes because even though you said Dante DiVincenzo is replacing Obi, Roby plays Obi's position.
Right.
So it may be some minutes there. You know, um, I think the summertime, the summer league is a perfect time for him to impress and show them that he can earn those minutes. 'Cause like we said earlier, it's only going to be 12 to 10 minutes if he get them.
Mm-hmm.
He get that spot. So I think it could be because we're not talking about a lot of minutes. And with Tibbs, some days he'll do it and some days he won't. And like you said earlier, if he's playing good, his minutes can be extended and give him the 12 to 14, depending on how he's looking out there. You know, but I think he'd get the minutes because he ain't going to be that type of guy that's going to come out there and worry about his shot over making the right pass or making the right play, I should say. And that's the type of guys that we need, just like Dante. I think Dante's that type of guy. I think that's a great pickup because he's a scorer, but he will pass the ball. And I think we got to stop having guys on the team that's worried about their own stats instead of making the right play, because that causes a certain type of flow in the team where now we really know how to play together. We know where dudes want the ball at. We know where dudes love the ball at. And I think that's what the Knicks need to be about because we're not that much of a great offensive team trying to do it individually, but combining our powers, I think we could be great. And bringing in Hart and Dante, those are two guys with intangibles who are going to share the rock.
Right. Red Foreman, he was talking to O-Head. He said, we can't play undersized to keep a 9-man rotation. That's dumb. We should give Roby 10 to 15 minutes a game and let Randle rest so he doesn't get injured in the playoffs. I mean, that makes sense, right? You know what I mean? That makes sense. Play a 10-man rotation. Let Roby get 10 to 15 minutes. People argue that the 9-man rotation was successful last year, so Tibbs is probably going to stick with it. My thinking is every year is a new year. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you add one person to your team changes. You know what I mean? That person has different characteristics, all of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that Tom Thibodeau will go with a 10-man rotation.
Depending on what we see.
Yeah, depending on what he sees, or is willing to go with a 10-man rotation, let's say that. You know?
I think so too.
Yeah, I think.
Because of what he's saying with the letting Randle rest up a little bit, I think they all learned from the last season. And, you know, maybe that's what Sim is saying too, depending on if Roby going to earn those minutes, they may bring in somebody else.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
That's the key point. We don't know. So either way, it has to work. Roby might work because he don't demand a lot of minutes, and we need a player with that type of mind frame.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to give his all in the minutes. And that's what Sim is really trying to explain. When a player know his role better, he ain't expecting to do more, that won't mess up our chemistry. It fits in. But if Randle ain't going to be playing as much, then maybe we need a guy with more experience that we could give more minutes to.
Right.
So that's why I said we got to wait and see if they're going to keep him or bring in somebody else. And this summer league is going to probably help them make that decision on Roby.
Yeah.
His performance.
Right. Ricardo asked, would you take a flyer on Jermichael Green? He's available. He's another guy that could probably give you 10 to 15 minutes a game and be cool with those 10 to 15 minutes a game.
From the Warriors, right, Sam?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I like him. Yep. He can hit the 3-ball, he stretched the court, and he played hard.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're gonna find minutes for him at, but
yeah, I don't know how much money he's looking for either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't believe that he would want a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? But this is the kind of player that could fit into that slot. You know, he kind of on the downside of his career probably, but can still give you some production, play some defense, grab some rebounds, hit a shot every now and again. You know, that's what you're looking for right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he definitely do that.
Yeah. You know, that's what you're looking for behind Randle until the organization decides they need something different. You know? What's your thoughts on just the offseason so far with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What's your thoughts so far?
I feel like they being patient, so I don't really know why we being so patient. But then I thought about it when I was speaking today. I was saying maybe because there's no move really out there worth going crazy for, like with the Paul George situation. We don't know all the ins and outs of the details of, why we couldn't get him. If it was that simple, we would have just got him. You get what I mean? So I feel like when you see that, you can't really knock them on that, because when you look out there, it's not nobody that jumps out and say, oh, we should be getting him. When you say Paul George, he's injured. He's 30-something years old. He got a lot of money kicking on the trade kicker. All that stuff means a lot. So at this time, we might as well move in and bring pieces in the way we doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and gradually get better that way. And I'm cool with that. So I don't have a problem with us really not doing too much, because what you want them to do. Even though I did see some moves that I feel like we could have made, but those moves were made because those moves was supposed to be made. They wasn't trying to come to the Knicks or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I don't want to say that they not moving enough, because did those moves fit for us? I don't know. So I just say I go at their pace, and I'm happy with the Dante pickup. And the summer league, I'm not really happy about. So I'm not really excited about, everything. So it's kind of like mixed feelings for me.
Yeah. I mean, this front office just hasn't been the type of front office that's going to take a lot of chances. It's like they're saving their chips until a calculated chance, if you want to say, comes across the table. They're not just gonna. They're not gonna take crazy chances. That's what I've seen from them. They're gonna make small moves, stack their chips, and then eventually they will, I think, make the big move. And I mean, I agree. I don't want to make a move just to make a move, but I do want to keep pace with, Boston got KP. We'll see if that makes them better, because I think they also got softer, right? Grant Williams is now gone. Marcus Smart is now gone. I think they got a little softer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're betting on them getting better. If Damian Lillard goes to either Brooklyn or Miami, they're going to get better. Milwaukee's going to be Milwaukee. We'll see what happens with Philadelphia. I want to keep pace with these teams. And so I'm hoping that, making a move like bringing in DiVincenzo, trading Obi, helps the Knicks to get better. Not that Obi was making the Knicks worse, but, you traded Obi so you can have room for DiVincenzo, even salary-wise. They did that. Then hopefully they're going to bring in somebody else, another big, so they don't have to play small every night. And in the end, they get better this offseason. But, is DiVincenzo enough to keep them in I mean, they were already, a couple steps behind Boston and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And they all got better, too.
So that's what you're saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Boston's supposedly got better. Miami might get better. Is DiVincenzo enough to keep you with them? I don't know.
Yeah, I think DiVincenzo is it's not only the Obi move. The Obi move helped the Randle situation that we broke down already. So that's going to help the team, right? We fixed that. And then Dante we didn't have really a player like him in that position. So that does make the team better. Now, when you compare us to other teams, like you said about the Celtics and some teams that didn't improve, sometimes it looked good on paper until we see it roll out. Just like we thought the Cavs was going to be better until we dust off the Cavs.
Right.
And it kind of worked out in our favor because we didn't spend all that money on Spider. Right. We just did it off of what we had on our roster. I think when stuff like that happens, these guys start to feel like they got to be more careful on just bringing somebody. And that's what you said, which is so true. Like, those guys don't want to draft a young guy if they're not going to play him and develop him. Those guys don't want to make a move and the fans be like, oh, that was the dumbest move ever. So the move got to really make sense. And really, all the moves they've been making kind of are making sense. I broke it down earlier on how they paid Randle, how they paid Brunson, how they paid RJ. They paid those guys ahead of time, and they saved a lot of money paying those guys because Randle was a NBA all team. He could have got more money. Brunson balled out. He could have got more money. So they kind of made good moves when you think about it. You know what I mean? So they got the bag, and they sitting over there, like Sim said, and they can make a move that's undeniable. But if you out here making every move, you ain't gonna be able to make that move.
Right.
So I'm kind of cool with it. We can't have everything we want. We can't have this and that at the same time. So I'd rather be here like we are until we get a move that we know gonna work, instead of throwing it all out there for a guy that's not gonna really get us to where we want to all go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And anybody out there in trade rumors right now that you would, all right, this the move we gonna make. Anybody out there you would use all this capital on?
Like I said, not really right now. Like the Paul George thing for me, I wasn't really with it. It depends on the deal, and I don't think it was Fournier and like how they were saying, wasn't that. So it's nobody really out there that I would say that's available, right? Like you're saying, that's available. Who? And is he gonna move the needle at the 2, at the 3? Let me know. Who is he? The NBA is all going young. You see what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
So
no doubt about that.
Let me know. Like, the NBA is changing every year. We see.
Yeah.
And one last point I want to make on that, Sim, about the change of the league. Now it's more about teams playing together. When you look at the Nuggets, you look at what they doing. They sharing the ball. NBA teams better wake. Knicks better wake up. Y'all better combine as a unit and really come together. Then a okay team could beat a good team, could beat an all-star team. Because it takes guys that give up the ball more. And I think that's the advantage that we have as our Knicks team. We're going to got more guys now that are share the ball, because you can't have too much offensive power. Everybody can't score at the same time.
Right.
So I think we got a good balance right now.
Yeah.
We do need a little bit more, but I like our balance.
Yeah, and I think DiVincenzo adds that type of play. You know what I'm saying? Coming from a place like Golden State. First of all, he's got a college championship. He's got an NBA championship. You know what I mean? And then he was just playing in Golden State where they have that type of play that you were just talking about. So I think I seen someone in the chat, maybe it was B-Baller, said, we got more ISO heavy. I disagree. I don't think DiVincenzo is an ISO heavy player. I think he's coming from a system where he knows how to play that type of basketball. You know what I mean? And he brings championship pedigree to the team too. And he's a better defender than Obi Toppin.
You
know what I mean?
I think they added a player that helps us in reference to not being so, like, we were ISO last year, and now we got more players that will help us make plays that help us not have to do so much ISO.
Yeah.
And that's players that pass and have intangibles of just could drive and break down, get in the D, and then kick. Or if you kick to them, they can make a shot.
Right. Now, Julu Caesar said we really need to move on from Fournier's contract this summer. You agree with that?
Yes, 100%.
Now, but what about the trade deadline, though? Because, they can wait until, let me see, is this the last year? This is the last year of his contract before there's a team option or a player option?
No, I think it's a team option.
I think it's a team option, right? So he has a team option. Let me see. Evan Fournier. Hold on, let me get this up here.
One more year, I think.
One more year, right? $19 million for Evan
Not mistaken.
Fournier. Yeah. He makes $18.8 million this year. Then there's a team option for $19 million next year, which really makes him a big trade chip even at the trade deadline. So if you don't get anything, if you can't move him this summer, then
trade deadline,
you got to try to do it at the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that the Knicks are gonna pick up his option. No way the Knicks do that. They'd be crazy to do that unless they have a trade in hand. You know what I mean? But if you don't move away from him over the summer, you still got the trade deadline to move away from him. He's just gonna be sitting on the bench. You know, and I don't think the Knicks. I don't think they want to have him just. They want to respect him, right? I don't think they want to have him just sitting on the bench, rotting away on the bench. I think they are probably going to try to find a place to send him. You know, a trade for him, but they're not just going to do anything either.
Yeah, I think that's in the works. They're not going to do him dirty. They basically trying to figure that all out. They got to move on from him. They sat him all that time. I think that was part of it. You know, that was part of it. And I don't think his value really, you know, shrunk too much after it because he just didn't play for so long. He came off a decent FIBA, you know, when he played for his country, he came off a decent run before that season. So, you know, I think that was a problem with Fournier for me. You know, he was playing a lot of ball in the summer. Then he come back not really in shape in the NBA. And I'm like, bro, you need a rest. You older. But I think he still could shoot the ball really well. And, you know, he still got a reputation as a good shooter. And I think he's movable, even if they have to take a little bit of a loss on him. Mm-hmm. But in a trade, you move them pieces around and that's off the books.
Right. You know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what or where they make the move. You know, I'm pretty sure they're throwing Fournier's name around, right? And trying to find a home for him. I just don't know where.
Warriors to take him.
You think so? I mean,
just did business with them. You gotta remember, when we do business with a team, that's just to do more business with them down the line because everybody don't want to do business with us.
But I don't know if the Warriors. I mean, obviously, I guess we'd have to take something back. You know what I mean? Because the Warriors is going to be so heavy over the into the luxury tax. I don't know if they can afford to, right? Because they just made the move to bring back Chris Paul and got to pay him $30 million.
The Heat.
You know what I'm saying?
The Heat to take them. The Heat lost Spruce. The Heat need a shooter.
Right. And this is where he could become a player in whatever happens with Damian Lillard or James Harden. Evan Fournier, the Knicks could be a player using Evan Fournier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
As a bargaining chip.
You know, somewhere in there to make something work. You know what I mean? Evan Fournier's contract could become important for somebody. You know what I mean? Could become important for somebody just to, you know, to make the money work or, you know, to help facilitate something, especially if there's a team that has salary cap available and they're willing to absorb his contract and bring in some draft picks to do so. You know, and somehow the Knicks are able to work with Miami and Portland and, you know, because this thing especially with Damian Lillard's contract is so big, it may require a 4-team trade to make this thing happen. You know what I mean?
It might.
You know what I mean?
That's why it's taking so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of cooking with that going on. And hopefully Fournier or something like he get thrown in like that. I see what you're saying. Get him off our books.
Right. And just to help facilitate something, get him off the books. Maybe the Knicks can bring something back with it. You know, that'd be the smart thing for them to be able to do. You know, I don't know how, you know, we'll see what this front office
we'll see pretty soon.
We'll see. Right.
That should be on the top of their list.
Yeah. Paris Duggar said his biggest concern for, I guess, the summer or for next season is Randle's injury being reoccurring. Any fears about that?
No, I don't think Randle's injury prone. I like to give him credit for being available so much.
Yeah.
And I know he's saying that being that it happened. I understand what Paris Duggar is saying. But I don't think, you know, I think he'll be okay. He's strong.
Mm-hmm.
And once he rests up for the summer and come back, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what he did, you know, it's an invasive surgery, you know, for them to go in, arthroscopic surgery, for them to go in, see what's wrong, and then, you know, fix it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be reoccurring either. You know, I think once it's healed up, he's going to be good to go. You know what I mean? He's got that kind of body structure to me, looks like.
He's
You know,
strong.
strong body structure. I'm not worried about it either.
And maybe he's saying that because he re-injured it, Randle. We get it. Because
That
he
is
did
true, though.
re-injure the ankle.
Right. That is true.
That could be what he's saying.
Right.
Hopefully that ain't the case.
Because
if that's what you're saying, Parrish, I understand.
And what I'm hoping, maybe, you know, that arthroscopic surgery was to tighten up those ligaments, because a lot of times when you have a recurring, and I'm not a doctor, this is just from my experience and speaking with doctors on why, like my own ankle, you know, I continue to twist it, is because, you know, you twist it once, you have a sprained ankle, those ligaments get a little looser. They may not tighten all the way back up. You know what I mean?
That's strong.
And then, boom, you twist it again. Those ligaments get a little looser. They never tighten back up. So now those ligaments are kind of loose. But maybe that surgery was to tighten them back up. You know, you go in, see what's going on, boom, and then, you know, tighten those ligaments back up so that you can help to negate it being reoccurring.
And rock that knee and rock that ankle brace.
Yeah, for real.
As well.
And stop wearing low tops.
Yeah.
Because I think he
Whatever
wears
them
low
kicks
tops.
is, you be wearing them colorful Jones.
Right. Because he be wearing low tops. Parrish Duggan said
some Under Armours or something that's gonna protect your ankle.
Right.
It ain't about fly. You want to just be safe.
For real.
Put on them old Grand Hill felines. Word.
Parrish Duggan said, but the injury is tied into his college injury.
See?
I mean,
right.
the thing about it, though, is it's not like the injury happened all of a sudden, like he landed and it twisted. He landed on somebody's foot. You know what I mean? So
it looked like it hurt too, Sam.
Yeah, it did. he was hurting.
Yeah. He just strong.
That man was hurting, bro.
God.
Yeah.
Word.
That joint was hurting. But yeah, both times he landed on somebody else's ankle. You know, so it wasn't like it gave out on his own. You know?
Yeah, he landed on somebody's joint. And then he came back just to try to play. Wasn't even always 100%. So,
yeah.
Yo, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Just hopefully he have a full recovery. That's all.
Right. I mean, I am a little concerned about him not coming back. I know Randle tries to stay in good shape. I am a little concerned about him not being back in the best shape because he's not able to do anything right now. You know what I mean? So I'm a little concerned about that.
He's not being able to play. And get in that shape that he normally, his regiment.
Yeah.
Because he's normally be in great shape throughout the summer. I ain't going to front.
Great shape.
And come back,
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about him, not being in the best shape when he comes back. I don't know how long he's got to be in the boot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And how much time he's going to have to get back in shape, So I don't know. B-Baller said, if Tibbs wanted to rest Randle more, all he had to do is wait for it, decrease his minutes, and increase Obi's. What are we saying? What we're saying is he don't want to rest Randle more. That's the whole point. He don't want to rest him. He don't want to rest Randle. You know what I mean? So he ain't trying to rest Randle.
He didn't want to rest Randle, nah.
Right, and that's the whole reason why Obi was frustrated. Not because Obi didn't like Randle, it's because he wanted to play. You know what I mean? So he's a little frustrated, not liking the times when he was taken out of the game, so on and so forth. Times he thought that he could contribute and all of that. So they moved on from him because Tibbs doesn't want to rest Randle as much as you want Randle to rest.
Of course not. It's at the end. Come on, Sam. You a coach. Off this season right here with Randle, you was not resting Randle alive.
Yeah. Yo, let me tell you something. Look.
Sam, what are they talking about? And I'm not even a Randle fan, bro, but that boy had a great season.
He was cooking.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying? Look,
That's why Obi had to go too after that. He
right.
made NBA second all team, bro.
Right.
And he was an all-star. Come on. That's his second time in his career. That means he had a great season.
Yeah. I mean, one of the girls, I got a girl on my team. She's the best player on the team. You know what I'm saying? And we was just at, I took the girls out. There's a tournament here called the New York Ave Classic. 20 years they've been doing it. This is the 20th season that they've been doing it. And we was actually the first all-girls team to ever play in this tournament. It's a league, you know what I mean? So it was a great atmosphere. We played this Saturday, and the girls was out there. They never played outside before like this. You know what I mean? And they were struggling. It's like 88 degrees outside. They were struggling. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at Kobe. Her name is Kobe. I'm saying, like, do you really want to come out the game right now? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I'm not trying to take her out the game. I know she's struggling. So I'm like, but I asked her, I said, Kobe, you need to come out? She looked at me, she's like, nah, coach, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I called a timeout so I can get her some rest that way.
Rest.
But she was the engine. You know what I'm saying? And we was playing boys.
Yeah, you need her. Without her, we getting cooked.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. B-Baller said, but you just said rest him so he's ready for the playoffs. Stop moving. We didn't say that.
We didn't say that.
That was somebody in the chat,
somebody's comment.
Yeah, that was somebody in the chat who said that. We didn't say they was going to rest him for the playoffs. Somebody in the chat said, give Roby 10 to 15 minutes so Randle can rest. I just agreed with him playing 10 to 15 minutes. But there's a difference between Isaiah Roby playing 10 to 15 minutes and Obi Toppin playing 10 to 15 minutes. See, Obi was playing 10 to 15 minutes per game. If Roby plays those minutes, people not going to get mad. But with Obi, people want Obi to play more minutes. And he wasn't going to play more minutes. So now we're not talking in circles.
Nah, we didn't say that, brother.
Yeah, we're not talking in circles.
We didn't say that.
You know what I mean?
Now, like I said, some people come in late and they don't know where the conversation. So we don't have a problem reminding you or refreshing because we stayed on the course. We addressing the comments, and it's true. I want to say it again. That part of the trade helps us because we're going to have a player that can play his hardest and accept his role, because the Knicks made a mistake drafting Obi when they knew they wasn't going to play him the right minutes that he's supposed to be played. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or they didn't see his play adding up. So it's like, they make mistakes picking players that, because Randle's there, he ain't going to play his best ball. It happens. You know what I'm saying? That's part of what he had to deal with. But he's still not going to be that type of player, I don't think. And we said that. We don't think. Could he still average 15 points in the league? A few rebounds? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Keith Turner said, oh, hold on. That's not the right one. Julius Caesar said IQ would get $100 million easy if he hits restricted free agency next season. What do you think the Knicks should do with IQ?
Great question. I like IQ. If they got all that money and they're not doing nothing, why not get IQ? You know what I mean? Because of the fact of we ain't doing nothing. IQ, that's one of our own. I thought we take care of our own. You know what I'm saying? They save money on other players, and I get it. We can't pay everybody. So that's part of the dilemma here. But I feel like if we're not making any moves and we got it, then we can use IQ to make a run because we know what IQ could do. Pay him.
Yeah.
Or pay him a little less than that because you could get him for 80 because they've been getting everybody for a little bit less because people want to play for the Knicks. And I think IQ would make that type of deal. So I like IQ.
I like IQ. I do. I think the Knicks going to trade him. I think they're going to trade him. Not because they don't want to pay him. I think not because they don't want to pay him. Right? I think because, one, he's probably going to be, right now, because he doesn't make a lot of money, you're not going to trade him and be able to get a big-time player back, like straight up. But because you got Evan Fournier's contract and maybe you got some other contracts you can move, you can couple it with IQs and bring back another player, and he be the guy that the team is trading for. But I think eventually IQ's going to want to start too. You know what I'm saying? I think he wants to be a starter in the league. And
so he's going to want to leave.
Yeah, may want to go someplace else.
Like what Obi did.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think eventually, because he's not starting over Brunson unless he's going to start over Grimes or RJ. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you start him over IJ or RJ, you playing real small.
That don't make sense.
That don't make sense. You start him over Quentin Grimes. I mean, you can, but, like, who's your shooter? Like, who's the sniper dude? You know what I mean? That's in the rotation. You got a guy who needs the ball in the hands in IQ, Brunson, RJ, and Randle. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Grimes don't need the ball in his hands. He's coming off screens. He's waiting for kickouts. IQ, I think IQ can play that style too, where, you kick it out to him and he can knock it down. I think he's good playing off the ball. You know what I mean? But he's also a guy that, can create coming off, with the ball in his hands. So I think, I don't know if he would.
He's elusive.
Yeah, I don't know if you could, if it makes sense for him to start in this lineup. So that's why I think eventually, he's going to want to go somewhere where he can start.
Maybe he could realize the type of player that he is. Not saying that he shouldn't want to start and that his talent level is not on a level as a starter, because I think he could be a starter in the league depending on what team he's on, right?
Yeah.
But maybe he could get a bag and they convince him to come off the bench and play that Lou Will, that role that he fits more of. You know what I mean? By still getting the bag, but take this role coming off the bench. Because, I know it's like, oh, you paying a guy this much to come off your bench. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's what you're getting in him. You need a whole team to win.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you give him a little bit less than that, because he's going to come off the bench, he continue to go for those 6 Mans of the Year awards and stuff like that. That's what I see IQ's career, honestly. I don't really see him as coming down, starting as a point guard, because he looks for his shot more. And we talked about that earlier with the kid in Summer League.
Right.
When you got that problem, when you got to look for your shot and you're not just comfortable at the point with the ball in your hand, feeling good off of just making an assist to another player, your feel good is all about you scoring the ball a lot. That's a problem for me at the point guard. Even with Brunson being that way sometimes, it's a problem. You need a guy who's going to get everybody involved and still be able to go and get his. And IQ don't really give me that on a day-to-day basis. He don't really give me that.
Right. Now, Julu said IQ's been more consistent from the outside than Grimes. IQ shoots 30. He shot 37. Yeah. And IQ shot 37% from 3 this year. Grimes shot like 38-point-something% from 3. Right? So it's close. But the difference
Grimes is younger.
Grimes is. Yeah. Is he? I think they're about the same age.
Grimes been in the league. Oh, they are the same age though, because Grimes was behind. Yeah,
Grimes is behind a year. Yeah, but it's the style and the way that they get their threes. IQ gets a lot of his off the dribble, right? Boom, boom, step back, pull. Where Grimes gets his off of kickouts, and I think there's a difference in the way that they get those threes and what that starting unit needs. You know what I mean? I don't think Brunson gets his off the dribble a lot of times. He can shoot it off of a kick out, but gets his off the dribble. Randle gets his off the dribble a lot of times. I don't know if you need a third guy in there who is consistently getting their threes off the dribble. I think a guy like Quentin Grimes who comes off screens, catch and shoot, that type of guy is what you need to balance that lineup up, balance out that lineup. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's an odd fit. If you put IQ in for Quentin Grimes, I think it's a little odd fit. You know what I mean? That's why I think he ends up getting traded, because he wants to start somewhere. And I think he's probably going to, let the team know at some point when if they don't trade him now, when it comes down to negotiations, like, yo, I like it here, but I want to be a starter. I want to take my chance at starting on the team someplace too, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be rough for him, honestly. And I don't think Grimes will start over Dante.
See, I'm kind of with you. I think Dante might start.
Yeah, he is.
I think Dante
He's
might
definitely
start,
going to start
man.
over Grimes because it's a Villanova connection. And Dante got a little bit more. I ain't going to say that. I'll just say it's a Villanova connection.
Villanova, yeah.
I'll just say that. And when you have that connection, that means it trumps everything.
I mean,
because Brunson is, you know.
I think Tibbs might give Grimes at least the first look. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're, you know, like when they get in the training camp and they break off in the blue and white, I think he might, okay, I'm going to put Grimes in there first. Because he's been there, you know, he's been there starting. He was the starting shooting guard last year. Eventually, I think he's going to I think he might like DiVincenzo as the starter. I think DiVincenzo can do more than Grimes.
Yeah, he could.
I think he can put the ball on the floor better. I think he can create a little bit more. I think he's got a better basketball IQ than Quentin Grimes. He's got a quicker trigger than Quentin Grimes. You know what I mean? So,
and that kid came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he's got
came to Villanova, took him to the chip, went right to the NBA.
Yep. And he's just as good of a defender, you know.
As Grimes, right?
As Grimes.
As Grimes?
I don't know if he's
I'm
as
not sure
good
about that part, really,
but he's
because
a
I don't
good
know
defender.
how much defense. I don't want to say you wrong because I'm just saying I don't know. I know Grimes guard up. I give Grimes his credit for being only in the league for a few years, and guarding up the way he does. And Dante been in the league for, I think, a year or two more.
Couple years more. Couple years more. I don't know if he's just as good, but he's a good defender. Let me say that. So it's not like, you know, you're going to put him in and he's a terrible defender. He's a good defender.
Yeah, no, he's not terrible. No, he's not terrible. I've seen him guard.
Yeah.
He's not like, you know, he's better than Grimes, though. As far as, he's better than Grimes.
Better as far as basketball IQ and all of that. Maybe not a better defender or just as good, but, you know, it's
he
not
might
like
be just as good on the defensive side. I just think he's better than Grimes because of his career, too. You got to remember where guys come from, you know, it plays a part in who they are. You know what I mean? As far as how he played, like he got a chip on his shoulder because he won a chip. He left college right after that. Some guys went back to college. Like Brunson and them didn't leave when he left. Them guys went back to college.
Right.
Cal Bridges was on that same team. He went there, went crazy, and went right out. Nobody knew who that kid was. I follow high school kids, all that. I didn't know who that kid was. Dante came in, went crazy, and went right to the league. Then I was like, where's he at? I was looking for him. Then I seen him pop up on the Bucks. He won a ring on the Bucks.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Warriors. So he has a lot of experience. When you win a ring, even if you're not playing a lot, you're getting a lot of experience because you're around all of that. Then he went to the Warriors and he's around Curry and Clay. You figure it out. And then he came from Villanova with Wright.
Right.
With my man Wright.
Right.
So you do that.
Right. And I think even with that Warriors team, with the Milwaukee team, what year did they win the chip? 2021?
It was, if we say he was in a couple more years before Grimes, right? We could quick figure it out.
Yeah,
he was in a couple more years before Grimes because he left right after he won.
Yeah, it was 2021. I'm looking at it now. It was 2021, right? And he averaged 27 minutes a game. So it's not like he was getting, 5-10 minutes a game. He was playing 27 minutes a game.
Oh, he was balling. I remember watching that.
Yeah, he was playing 27 minutes a game. You know what I mean? And in the playoffs, he still played 23 minutes a game in the playoffs. He didn't average much, as far as points and all that. You know what I mean? But he was, he was a part of it. He was a big part of it. So, yeah, that's what you're getting.
That's what you're getting.
That's what
and when you look at Hart, if you like Hart and you like Brunson, listen, all that's coming from the same tree.
Yeah.
Right, at Villanova. He teach them guys how to make the right plays. even though Brunson was a little aggressive on the offensive end because nobody wasn't looking too good at first. You know what I'm saying? But he passed too. But them dudes on the same squad together, they're gonna share that rock. It's gonna be looking good out there.
Yeah.
Why
no
would
doubt.
we get Dante in a position that needs an upgrade just to start Grimes again? He's no starter. Dante is better than Grimes. If we could start Grimes, they're gonna start Dante. I tell you right now, Mr. Turner, you're gonna be like, they're gonna start Dante. Watch. Remember, Tibbs was saying he was gonna start Fournier.
He was.
And he wound up
That's what he
starting
said.
Grimes. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. You know.
We'll see, like Sim say. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I just think Tibbs is the type of player that's like, you know what? At least in training camp, I'm gonna give Grimes the chance to win it in training camp. You know what I'm saying? But I think DiVincenzo ends up winning out.
Oh, he's saying Grimes. Oh, I see what Keith's saying. He's saying just for Grimes again. Okay. They ain't gonna do that, Keith. I know what you're saying, bro. They ain't doing that. They ain't doing that.
Yeah.
No. We played with that already. That was an experiment. Now, guess what? Grimes earned his time to come off the bench and do crazy and do work. If you could start those games, come off the bench and kill.
For real. And the thing is, and you got a guy that can start for you if you need it. Somebody's injured, whatever it is, you can bring him in.
That's a fact.
He can start for you.
That's a fact.
So, I mean, that makes your bench deeper. But I think Dante DiVincenzo makes either Grimes or IQ, one of them guys, expendable. Josh Hart, he ain't going nowhere. He's there. So I think either Grimes or IQ could make him expendable because you could trade one of those guys and you still got DiVincenzo, either Grimes or IQ and Hart. You know what I mean? And then you find a way to bring in another, probably small forward or something. So.
I think what you said earlier about IQ is a fact, though. Because with Grimes being able to be effective without having the ball, and then IQ needing the ball, I think they'll move IQ for that factor if it was a choice between Grimes and IQ.
Right. Because
that's a fact. Why have him on the floor if he needs the ball and Brunson's going to have the ball, Randle needs the ball. You know what I mean? So IQ ain't going to fit in with that lineup. But Dante does. Grimes does because they could go off the screen and just wait for the ball or play off the ball or be effective without having the ball in their hand, like you said.
Yeah, so see what's going on. But, man, Will, I'm about to head out. But I want, anything else you wanted to touch on, though, before we got out of here?
Nah, man, I think we talked about mostly everything, Summer League trash. My man said Summer League trash now.
Yeah, no lies, man. No lies right there. Summer League is...
We rather watch your girls play, right, Sam?
Yeah, for real. For real. For real. Summer League is, man.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
We talked about everything, man. Dope conversations, you know what I'm saying? Can't wait to come back on. I'll be back on the next show for sure.
Man, no doubt. Let me see. They play again, what, Wednesday? They play Wednesday, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they play Wednesday. And then they play again on Friday or something. Something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna still watch it.
Yeah. I'm still watch it. Still watch it. They're not making the playoffs. You know what I mean? They already lost 2 games. You know how Summer League goes. It's like the top team in the pool makes the playoffs or whatever. They're not making the playoffs, so we don't got to worry about that. You know what I mean?
We got to see Trevor Kills running around here like he had burgers and fries all week.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, we're going to get up out of here, folks. We appreciate your time. And, just look for the notifications for the next one. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Smash that like button. And yeah, we up out of here, folks. Peace.
Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.